and Av is Elba, and El is for sure El. So we see that it's not an end, it's a continuation. 3 weeks leading into Elul and into Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. Of course, the Bein HaZmanim is somewhat of an interruption, which may not be the best thing. It wasn't always Bein HaZmanim throughout history, but that's the situation today. It could be, you could say on the one hand, maybe it's even better, because during Elul, a person is very, very busy with his learning. Maybe he doesn't have enough time for Cheshbon and Nefesh, thinking about Tshuva. And now, in these 3 weeks, you have time. Okay. I heard from Chaim Shmulevitz, from many years ago, brought a pasuk, Orach Chaim Lamala Lamaskil, Laman Sur Mishol Mata. The way of life is to go up. It says there's no such thing as standing still. We always have to go up, try to improve ourselves, reach higher and higher levels, never to remain in one place. I had a chavrusa, his name was Rav Shmuel Shechter. He was a person who learned in the Mir Yeshiva in the 1930s. He was a Talmud of Rabbi Rucham. In the later 1930s, he came back to Europe and learned in the Kelm Yeshiva until he had to escape. So that which I'm going to quote from him is a good chance it comes from his Rabbi. This parsha, Dvarim, last parsha, it speaks in the beginning of what Rabbi gives Tochacha, and the first thing he gives Tochacha on is the Meraglim. Later on, he mentions the Cheder Egel, even though the Egel was really first. He says because the Meraglim is more serious. What does it say? It says, Lo avisem la'alois. You didn't want to go up. You didn't want to keep reaching higher and higher levels. So, that's what we have to do all the time, to try to reach higher and higher levels, and that's the tshuva. There's 2 parts to tshuva. One tshuva is to get rid of averos, regret, makabel, ask forgiveness, but the other tshuva is just to get close to Hashem. Tshuva means returning. And there are 3 areas, 2 groups of 3 areas that we have to work on our whole life. One is, as we know in Pirkei Avos, the world stands on Torah, Avodah, and Milas Chasodim. And the other one is Machshava, Dibur, and Maisa. Thought, speech, and action. Our whole life, we always have to be working in these 2 groups of 3 areas. We like to show a connection between the 2 of them. The Torah, Avodah, and Milas Chasodim, each one of them has in it these 3 other ones. Now, first of all, Torah, where's the machshava? Continually, it means to think about Torah all the time, as much as possible. A person should be able to do it. I sometimes tell my grandchildren, it says in the pasuk in Kriyat Shema, "Vashinantam lebanecha v'dibarta b'am shiptu b'veisecha v'lecha v'derech shavcha uvkumecha." Why in that particular order? I said that first you have to sit in your house or in a beis medrash and have svarim. Then you try to sort of get it memorized. So when you're walking in the street, you keep learning. And then if you're so much into it, when you go to sleep, when you get up, that's all you're going to think about. Now that person, is not in the Torah. The Michtam Eliyahu says that in the Torah, the Dor HaMidbar, there was no Bittul Torah. They learned all the time. When they came to Eretz Yisrael, time of Yoshua, they needed to be told, Another interesting point in the beginning of Yoshua, which applies to our situation, it's Hashem tells Yoshua, going into Eretz Yisrael, and he tells him, Chazak ve'amatz, strong, and you're going into Eretz Yisrael, and the first pasuk goes on conquering the land. Chazak ve'amatz. The way the translation they say, be strong and courageous. So, in the next pasuk says, Rak chazak ve'amatz ma'od, very much. Lishmor Torah, and so we see that just to fight the war, the soldiers, they have to be strong, for sure. But the people behind them, the people who are learning Torah and doing mitzvahs, soldiers are also doing mitzvahs, but that's chazak, that's ma'od. That's much more. We have to realize that it depends on that. So that's the machshava in Torah. What's the dibur? It says in the Torah. The dibar taba. You have to speak in Torah. So the bum stands for Torah shebeksav is bracious with a base, and mem me'emasai is the Torah shemal peh. Maisa in Torah is hasmada and amal. Continuous learning, the effort made in learning, that's the Maisa. Avoda, service, davening. Machshava is kavanah. You have to think. Dibur, sure. You have to say the words. And we say in the beginning of the Shemona Esrei, Ufi agid tehila secha. Right, so that's the dibur in tefillah, and the ma'isa is to daven with the minyan, come on time, have a set place to daven. Now, also chesed has all three. Chesed has machshava. Rabbi Yonah in Shari Shlishi of Shari Tshuva says that a person should always try to think of ways to help other people. Think of eitzos, give them good advice, try to help them. And dibur, sometimes a good word that when somebody says to somebody else can change a person's life, and there are many such stories. A good word. Somebody was about to leave yeshiva, and somebody said because he felt they weren't taking enough interest in him, and someone gave him an encouraging word, and it changed his life, and he became a great rabbi. There are such stories. And Ma'isa, that we know the difference between Stock and Milas Chasadim, one of the differences is that Stock is b'mamona with his money, and Milas Chasadim is b'maisa, with action. Now, we know when a person leaves this world, he's going to be asked questions. Some of them we know very well. It's Gemara in Shabbos, about the Torah, Emunah, deal honest in business. Did you learn Torah? Keep set aside times. Yep, the questions they're going to ask. And it could be they're going to ask every person, did you accomplish what you were supposed to accomplish in this world? Yeah. Sometimes when I give a bracha to a person who has children, I say, may all your children, even grandchildren, be worthy to accomplish what they're supposed to do in this world. And Jews, I can give it to everybody here too, that you should be able to accomplish, and even people who don't have children yet, but since we say in the bracha and Satorah, we daven for our descendants, even people, Bachrim say that too. So we all hope that we'll be able to do it, and that we're family will continue. Yeah. Yeah. I mentioned before of Shmuel Schechter, Zechatzar Bracha. So once he told me the following, and as I say, a good chance it came from his Rabbi. He said, we're going to be asked those questions in Shamayim. We've been able to answer that we really did them. Not so easy, you know. He said, but we could say we tried. We also say on Yom Kippur, we say the Vidui. And we say all kinds of different things. Do we really do full tshuva on all of those chatoim? Probably not. So what are we saying to Hashem? Well, we feel bad. We don't want to do these things. Yeah. That also means something. It's not enough, but it helps. Yeah. Say, everyone should makabel kabbalas, different things to do, you know, general tshuva, but also particular things. There are stories about people who were makabel on themselves various things, and they were worthy of Yeshuas. There's a story about, it happened recently in Gaza, a certain man with a family, and his wife always wanted him to learn more. And he was in a situation where it looked hopeless. Rahman al-Sani was surely going to be killed, and he said he's makabel himself to learn the Daf Yomi. Sure enough, he was saved by a miracle. And when he reported to his wife was more happy about the fact that he was makabel the Daf Yomi than even that he was saved. Another story about a former Ohr Somayach Talmud. He was having a certain, the former Talmud has a family, and it seems they gave him a bill for a tax payment that he felt he should not have paid. So he said to his wife, "We have to do tshuva," and they made up between each other. They're never going to argue. I mean, that's a pretty high level. And sure enough, they canceled the tax. In fact, when he answered the phone, I'm going to tell you about a miracle that happened to me. That's what he said. Yep. We have to make kabbalas, whether bein adam lamakom, bein adam lechavero, lamakom, get up on time, say brachas b'chavana, not easy. Bein adam lechavero, to be a noach labrios, says in Pirkei Avos, called Ruach habrios nochei menu, ruach hamakom nochei menu. Hashem is pleased with him. Another very difficult thing, to forgive people, no matter what they did to you. This is Rabbi Gershon Edelstein Zechatzar keeps stressing that. You have to let people get away with things. It may not be easy, be difficult, but yeah. We want a Beis HaMikdash, we have to be extra. Beis HaMikdash is extra. We have to try to do more than we think we can do, especially in these days. We know that in order to get a Beis HaMikdash, we will have to do tshuva, no question about it. Tshuva Shlema. So Bart, they say that the word esrog, without the vav, aleph tov resh gimel, stands for 4 statements where it says shlema. These 4 areas that mention shlema. It says if a person has emunah shlema and tshuva shlema, he will come to refuah shlema and geula shlema. So that's our job in these days. Shem Shah, we should all be matzliach and reach the high madregas and be zoicha to binyan beis hamikdash b'mheir v'yameinu geula shlema.